Hey guys, I am back. As promised, we are going to do book talk number 2. Notice I have on the same clothes because I did these the same day. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We are going to do a book talk on my second book as promised. If you are new to this channel, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. All right, let's get into this. So, like I told you before, I wrote 2 books, and this is my second book. Of which I am completely excited about. This book, I'm excited about both of them. But this book here is called Herbal Loc Care, an herbal guide to caring for your locks. Okay, so this is for people, that want to get locks, people that already have locks, people that want to create products for locks. But it even has great information in here for people with hair that don't have locks. Um, so this book is a little bit for everybody, but it really zeroes in on those that have locks. And so I decided to create a book like this because I am doing my own lock journey as well as for my daughter. And I've done a lot of research about locks, how to care for them, and those type of things. And I said, you know what? I want to write a book from an herbalist perspective because I wanted to look at more natural products, stuff that's beneficial to the hair and help grow the hair and stimulate the roots and just keep me healthy all just period, me and my children. So I decided to come up with this Herbal Loc Care book because this is a culmination of my study and research and time and all of that and lessons I've learned and all of that into one book. So let's get into this book. All right, so as always, I have my disclaimers and dedications and all that good stuff. But we're going to go into the table of contents. So this book here is very colorful. I did it that way because I wanted to, I'm a visual person. So I wanted to make sure that what I'm talking about visually, you can see it and grasp it, okay? And so the first thing I talk about is, growing locks is a journey. Okay, it is a journey in and of itself, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes along the way. You're going to have some trials and errors and things. Maybe this product works, now this product doesn't, and that kind of stuff. And so just understand that from the gate. That way you'll be more comfortable with the process and more likely to stay on track with it rather than just hopping off of it and saying, girl, I'm just going to give me a relax, I'm done with this. Or I can't do this no more, I'm just going to straighten my hair, whatever the case may be. Hang in there. It is a journey, okay? Such is life, right? All right, so the next thing about this book, I talk about what locks are, and I give you a little bit of history about the locks, okay? That's just the educator in me. You need to know what they are, the history of them. This is an ancient hairstyle. It's not something, I know it seems more trendy now, but this is an ancient hairstyle, okay? So I talk a little bit about the history and where it came from and all of that. The next thing I dive into is the type of locks. So depending on your type of hair, that determines what type of locks you really should have, or what type of locks will be best held up with the type of hair that you have, okay? So I talk a little bit about that. And again, people who are new or considering locks, that could be some valuable information for them, right? The next thing I get into, the section is called the science of hair. So the science of hair looks at the pH balance of the hair. It looks at the blood up under the hair follicles. It talks about the anatomy and physiology of the hair, the structure and function of the hair. And these things are important because if you are trying to create herbal formulations, you want to make sure that you understand how the hair is already functioning. What is the body doing to nourish the hair? Okay, is it a circulation issue? Is the blood not being able to circulate fully around that area, and that's why the hair is breaking off? So you want to increase circulation in that area. So you really want to understand what the body is trying to do to correct any imbalances on its own, and then you can take the herbal medicine and create your formulas around supporting the body's process in doing that. Okay, so that's that. The next section I talk about, it's not all hair is the same. So this section is the racial composition of hair. So I take it by different ethnic groups. I tell you about the hair of that particular ethnic group and some common challenges that that particular ethnic group tends to face. And this is for people that may, own a shop, maybe a loctician, Someone that, like I said, may be doing hair on the side, someone that wants to create lock products, whichever way you want to look at it. But it talks about each of those issues, and it breaks it down by race, okay? Because we aren't all the same in that regard. Everyone's hair is different. That's a fact, okay? All right. So the next chapter talks about threats to locked hair, okay? There are several threats to locked hair. For example, I talk about bacteria, I talk about alopecia, dandruff, I talk about mold and fungus. They often call that dread rot. So how I have this section structured is I tell you what that threat is, okay? I talk about how this threat impacts your locks, the symptoms of that threat, and then how you can reduce your risk, okay? And that's very important so that you don't deal with issues such as dandruff and these other type of things, okay? And I also talk about medications, because certain medications have an impact on the hair as well, okay? And these issues, again, they're not just singular to locks. You can also deal with some of these issues with your hair, just hair not locked. So that's why I said this book can really also help people who just have regular hair too, All right, so let's move along. Formulation, the juicy part. So formulation talks about the types of lock product formulas, okay? So for example, what do you want your lock product to do? That's the first question that you ask yourself in any formulation, but especially with Herbal Loc products. What do you want it to do? Do you want it to cleanse? Do you want it to hydrate? Do you want it to nourish? Do you want it to improve circulation? Then that is your type of lock product formula. So for example, you can create a formula that is cleansing. And what does that do? It's designed to clean the locks and the scalp, removes excess oil, dirt, and unwanted residue from your locks. Okay, so you want to get really broad at first. What do you want it to do? And then you start narrowing it down. Okay, so this tells you about the different types of lock formulas, gives you a good description, and just like I said, kind of a baseline of where you can kind of start from when you're creating your own. The book also gives you formulation techniques, just in case you may get stuck somewhere in formulation. It's like, go back and go through the steps, and that'll kind of help you understand, like, okay, this is where I messed up. I didn't ask myself this question, and that's where the problem lies. Okay. Then I talk about the ways to administer your herbal formulas. And so I talk about, for example, like serums and cleansers and toners and things like that, right? And so I talk about what they are, the type of plants you can use, what part of the plant you can use. I also talk about, see, I told y'all. So when I was recording, let me pause real quick for this. When I recorded my first video out here, I said, what? I want it out in nature. I kind of want a naturey vibe and all that. And, so I'm out at the park, of course. And when I got started with the first video, it was like kids running around. And I said, okay, let me stop it and start it. Okay, oops, somebody's coming, stop it and start it. And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to let it be what it is. And so it's the same thing for this one. I'm just going to let it be what it is. Kids in the background, it don't really matter. I'm just gonna let it be what it is because I'm not recording this video again. Anyway, and then I give you basic recipes. Okay, so basic recipes, your oils, supplies you need, as well as directions and steps to use that particular remedy. Okay, so it's packed full of recipes and different herbs that you can use to help create your own Herbal Loc Care products. Okay, now this next one, it gives you over 15 different types of herbs. Okay, this gives you the action of the herb. It tells you a little bit about the herb, and I put pictures in here so that you can see, just in case you want to go out in the wild and forage for your own herbs. It kind of helps you to identify it a little bit more, which I always recommend. If you can forage, go forage, because you can get it in its most potent state, right? But then it also tells you the actions that this herb has. So for example, bay leaf has an astringent action on the hair, wound healing for the scalp, it's an antioxidant, and it's antibacterial. Okay, so I give you different herbs, okay, that you can look at to, or even use to create your Herbal Loc Care products. Okay. Then I talk about collecting. So if you are going to go out in nature and collect your own herbs, there's some things that you have to take in consideration. There's certain time frames in which you want to be able to collect your herbs, certain seasons that you want to collect your herbs if you want them at their maximum potency. So those tips are in here as well. Okay. I also talk about carrier oils. That is the next section, and actually the last section of this book. Different carrier oils, the benefit of each one. Okay, and the carrier oils are simply those oils that are going to, like they say, carry your herbal formula throughout your scalp, throughout your hair, or even throughout your body or on your skin, depending on how you choose to make your own formulations. And then, as always, at the back of my books, I have the dictionary. And these are some common terms that I used throughout the book so that it just makes everything clearer and simpler to understand. Okay, because like I told y'all, that's my goal. I'm not out here trying to use words this long and be like, y'all, come on, why don't y'all know that? Like, that ain't my spirit at all. My goal for you is to make sure that you get the information. It's not so that I can boost myself up and try to impress people with my super long words. You know, that is not the mark of a true educator. Okay, the mark of a true educator is to help people truly understand it. And if the goal is that people get it, then we need to make sure that we put it in terms and words and ways in which people can understand it. Okay, so I had so much fun creating this book. You know, it has really helped me. I have some of my own lock products that I'm going to create from this book, so stay tuned for that as well. But I'm hoping that it will help you, bless your life, be able to be used in cosmetology schools, be able to be used in your own home, be able to be taught all over the world, so that people can understand that herbs are not just for inside the body, but they can be used outside of the body as well. Okay, so if you would like to purchase Herbal Loc Care, okay, I'm working on my website. I promise it's gonna be up. When you see it, you're gonna see why it took so long. But I am working on it, I promise. I'm gonna have all the information down in the box, in the description box below, on how you can access this book. It's only $25. I try to keep all of my books $25. Keep it simple. It did take me a lot of research and a lot of time to put it together, but I try to make books as affordable as possible so that you can get the information in your hands. But these books are more like textbooks rather than just some book you can read real quick and toss. These are textbooks. These are constant reference books. If you're making herbs in the kitchen, you need it. If you are, you know, you're a loctician and you own your own business, you need it. If you're new to herbal medicine and you've got locks and you want to know how to take care of it, you need it. You know, so it's for everybody. Or if you have hair, scalp issues, and you want to know what herbs you can use for that stuff, you need it. So if you got hair on your head, you need this book. So let me just start by saying thank you so much for watching my channel. This is my second book talk. I hope it has helped you and blessed your life. Stay tuned for more informative videos, and I appreciate your time. And with that being said, I'm out. Bye, family.